Well, thank you very much for the kind introduction, and most importantly, it's just been a privilege to be here for such a stimulating day. What is often taken as a very simple issue of fighting over a particular rate, we now understand from Judge Robards is actually a way state. We are the law. It reminds me of the old analogy: the law is a river, and we're only dipping our foot in it at any one particular time. And that, in fact, I think that he understands, as important as his decisions are, any judge is not the ultimate arbiter of what the meaning of what they write are, what their opinions mean. That's ultimately up to further interpretation of later judges in history, and I think that he's really shared with us an important perspective that it's really the first round that no one opinion can address all the issues, and it's, I think, a very useful and important reminder and a sense of humility that we are only part of the way through what's going to be a very dynamic and interesting story. We've heard conversations about how real-world lawyering takes place in the shadow of all these important decisions, how we advise clients, how we discuss matters, which is, for the most part, the way law really happens. I mean, it's one thing to think about litigated cases, and we teach them for a reason, but we recognize that, in fact, that only represents a tiny proportion of what we do. And then in the last panel, we see very clearly, after the second panel showed us the realities of the litigation, a much more dynamic, longer-term processes, whether you're talking about it as multiple standard-setting agencies all vying to be the next leader in, for example, IoT standards, which are very much up for grabs, or a repeat play game, or all the additional dynamics that complexify this, I think, make it a much richer and much more interesting space. And that, in fact, tells us that we have a lot more options. So, I mean, for me personally, it's been a very stimulating day, and I hope you all feel the same way, and I'm glad that so many of you have made it here. But my real pleasure today is to introduce our final speaker. And our final speaker is, of course, the Honorable Makan Delrahim, who is the Assistant Attorney General for the Antitrust Division of the Justice Department.